America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This is the Preble Town Board meeting of May 8th, 2023. Are there any additions, deletions, or corrections to the April minutes?
Make a motion to accept the minutes.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Carried. At this time, I'd like to introduce the guest speaker that we have tonight, Patrick Kozer from Northeast Transformers. And he's going to give us a little bit of summary about what he's doing over there at where he is, and see if we have any questions. And he's kind of giving us an overview. So, Patrick, you're up.
So I'm Patrick Kozer. I'm the Vice President of Northeast Transformer. We've been in the Salisbury building now for about 10 years, I'd say. These are 10th year. It's been a while. We take in used transformers from the utilities as far away as Florida and Michigan even, and remanufacture them back to like new standards. We are a non-hazardous facility. Some concerns were kind of brought up recently about what we do, and I just wanted to make myself available if anyone had any questions for me. We have multiple redundant safeguards to make sure we're handling things appropriately. Our facility is very clean and very safe. And I wanted to invite anybody for a tour if you wanted to come into the facility and see what we do. We are currently going through the planning board process to discuss adding loading docks into the Comet Flasher building that we just purchased. Our industry has been kind of a disaster. We went from about a 10-week lead time to 5 years on some equipment. So we are about as busy as we could possibly get and just trying to keep up with industry demand. Does anyone have any questions about what we do? Or
Patrick, how many people do you employ in Preble?
we are up to about 90 now.
90. Okay.
We're running 2 shifts now. We've been trying to expand our capacity to get as much out the door as possible. Utilities on average are saying they're short about 10,000 transformers just to keep the lights on in most cases, and that is per utility. So we've never seen the demand in our industry that we see today.
And where are the new transformers being built these days?
So there are about 5 domestic manufacturers, but the utilities are so desperate that they're starting to buy from Korea, India, Brazil, Colombia, all over the place. That's how desperate they've gotten. So it even involves months of sea travel to even get them here at this point.
So an alternative, instead of buying a new transformers, is to remanufacture the old one.
Correct. We are about 75% successful for everything that comes into our building, and we reuse over 95% by weight of that transformer when it goes back out. So it's a very sustainable practice. We're about one of the most environmentally friendly companies in the state, I would say.
And you get regular visits from DEC and people like that?
Yep, so we have a bulk petroleum storage permit and an air permit with the DEC, so we're routinely audited. And on top of that, we service about 20 of the largest utilities in the country, and they all will send their safety group in to inspect and audit us, their environmental group in to inspect and audit us, and their engineering group in. So we're very transparent, very open door company. And we'd be happy to host an open house, even to have people come into the facility and see what we do.
You know, a couple of years after you opened up, you had one down there, and it was really pretty, a lot of information right there. I mean, when you can see it versus just saying what you do, it really makes things a lot clearer.
Yeah, so that's the doors are open.
Do you have any New York State utilities as your customer?
Yep, so we service National Grid, Avon Grid, which is NYSEG and RGE, Central Hudson Gas and Electric, which is kind of Albany down to Poughkeepsie. I have a hoarse voice right now because I had 20 people from Con Edison and Orange and Rockland from the city today, so I apologize. And we service Long Island Power also, so pretty much everybody. And then a lot of the smaller municipals and co-ops. A lot of the smaller places like Steuben Rural Electric, Marathon Power, they've been kind of neglected, so we're trying to keep them afloat too.
How's your infrastructure over there with your utilities and water and everything? Is that, everything is structured for you on your purchase of the Comet building?
Yep, so the Comet building used to be part of the Salisbury
Yeah.
complex, so our sprinkler system actually fed that
Oh.
building, our septic fed that building, everything's actually linked up. But what we're planning on doing with the expansion is to actually cap all of that off except for the sprinkler. And seal all the plumbing and move our shipping and receiving department into that building.
Oh, I see.
Kevin and I took a tour.
Hey,
Oh, no.
Kevin,
What
How you
was-
doing?
Did you go with me? No, you
No,
went.
I got a
Separate.
personal.
Yeah,
tour.
Jeff and I took a tour at your plant, and it was quite impressive. It was very busy, lots of work in process that was going through the system, and employees diligently doing their job. It was quite impressive, and so I recommend anybody who has an interest to take Patrick's offer up and
I'll
get a
leave some
tour.
business cards here
Okay.
if anyone wants to get
Okay.
a hold of me
That
personally.
would be great. Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
no, we're family owned and operated. We've all lived here our whole lives, so take a lot of pride in what we do and taking care of the community. So the
Mhm.
door is always open if anyone wants to come visit.
Yeah, I was gonna say Patrick, his father, and mother too.
And my
very-
wife,
all-
yep.
And your wife, yeah,
Yep.
all very,
Still got the little dog?
Yep,
yeah,
still a little dog in the
Yeah.
office.
all very community friendly. And I see your father at dinners sometimes that I go to, various events that I attend, and he's there, and he's always out there in the public.
More than me, I've been 16-hour days lately.
You got your nose to the grindstone.
Yeah, pretty much.
Is Comet moving out of town or?
I think they're leasing a place nearby. From what I understand, Jim is kind of downsizing some of his area and just trying to plan for the future. I think he's getting to where he might want to retire.
Any other questions for Patrick? Okay, Patrick, thanks a lot for coming in.
Thanks a lot. Thank you for your time,
Appreciate it.
everyone. Let
Okay.
me know if you want to
All right,
come visit.
okay,
Take care.
thanks, bye-bye now. Jen?
Dog control, 105 miles traveled, 1 stray picked up. Justice report, no report received.
Jeff, highway report?
Yeah, it's that time of year. We just got through town cleanup, so that was successful. Nice thing with that is it's getting, pretty much same year to year, so people understand what's going on quite a bit. So it runs pretty smoothly. I contacted FEMA. They keep requesting different paperwork and things for the flood that we had just about 2 years ago. It'll be 2 years in August. And it's frustrating. I'll be kind, but the federal government and FEMA, with everything that's going on, they're slogging through these backlogs. And I was talking to my state rep, who's elbow deep in this as well, and he's very frustrated himself with it because he's getting the calls that they're not getting these projects obligated, so you can get them out to bid and get them finished. Said pre-COVID, this would have been done, the paperwork filed and the whole bit long ago. So the next step, and it's getting real close to that as far as I'm concerned, because we're getting close to losing this construction season by the time you do bidding and everything, is to, like he said, go congressional. And FEMA is a federal agency, and I'm in the process. We're going to start contacting our federal representatives and put some heat on them, because it's gotten past ridiculous. So that's that. You've got the copy in front of you, so if you have any questions, holler. The Bridge New York funding, we're hoping to see that about the time the budget was signed. We haven't seen the release of who got the awards for that grant funding yet. I'm hoping very soon. Flip side, with the budget attached directly to it is our CHIPS money. And so we've seen about $11,000 increase this year because of the advocacy and pushing for our local roads and like that. So that's a good thing, Kevin. I don't know what it's gonna be for the county, but it's gonna be a nice number of an increase. Not gonna keep up with the price of things, but it's better than going backwards.
Mhm.
So, let's see. As a town cleanup, other things I think we're gonna cover later on. So if you have any questions, holler. Anybody?
Thanks, Jeff.
Okay, thank you.
Recreation, we have a handout from Dave Smith. He's been very busy at the park, and he itemized all the things that he's doing down at the park. And everything's going well between you and Hank?
Yeah,
Okay.
well, you see everything I've done. Some of it, the heavier equipment, Jeff and the highway has helped out a lot on. Taking that old light pole that's not been used for, I don't know, 30, 40, I don't know how many years since it's been used. They took that out and they've been very helpful in doing stuff for us. But things have been going good.
Good.
One interesting thing is climbing into the women's bathroom window to take the lock apart. Somebody stuck some wood in that and I'd take it apart and send it out to get it fixed. I got inside there and I was wondering if I could get the door apart or not. If I'd have to call the fire department to rescue me. But I got out. No, things been going good.
Unfortunately, we do get some light vandalism down
Yeah.
there at the park. So we have to be careful and just watch that. Any questions for Dave? Okay, thanks, Dave.
But if anybody has any questions, they know where I live. Darn it.
County legislator, Kevin?
So Thursday, or last night, redistricting, gonna put it to bed, hopefully, now. So the legislature approved unanimously, the 15 map. So we're proposing going from 17 legislators down to 15. Since it did pass, it is now going to go to the ballot box for the public to vote on that. ARP funding, ARPA funding. One of the problems that we saw with ARP funding is that the federal government has been kind of using the unspent federal funding that they gave everybody kind of like as a hostage, I guess you could say. We're supposed to have it allocated by 2024, and it has to be spent by 2026. But the way that they're doing it right now, the Speaker of the House is looking at taking all unspent ARP funding away to help with the budget. Being said, one of the things that we did find out is the difference between allocating and encumbering. So as long as we encumber the funds, then it's ours to stay. We have roughly about 820,000 left of the ARP funding, and we are proposing this month to put it directly to the Cortland County Courthouse renovation. With the increase in costs, with material, and everything, that 800,000 should cover the entire renovation, including the dome. So then it's not taxpayer dollars for that. So encumber, if you have any left, encumber, just in case. Friday, we had the groundbreaking for the courthouse. And it was official that the state did give us $5.4 million in the renovation for this. It's going to cost roughly about $7 million for the renovation. Okay, and then we put ARP funding in with that as well. So that was that part. Sales tax disbursement, we did approve, for the third quarter or second quarter. Anyway, and you will be receiving it if you haven't already, and you're 3.4% more sales tax revenue than last year at this time. We did have mental health awareness. This is Mental Health Awareness Month, so we did do a kickoff for that one. I have been going around school districts and talking to superintendents and counselors, and we have a pretty big problem with mental health with children, to a point where third graders are looking at suicide. Wouldn't have believed it if I didn't go around, but it is there. And we are now trying to work with the state to find out, how we can get more counselors in the school system. Then the not so good news. So, as you know about the state budget and the issues we have right now at the county level, we were doing really well. And we kind of are until we heard what was happening with the state budget. And the budget now is holding on to all of our federal Medicaid. They call it FMAP. And we are right around 1.3 million that the county puts into that. So you get insurances and all that, but we do pay an upfront cost. What happens is the federal government gives the state of New York, like this year, 628 million, and then that is for Medicaid. And then what it does is the counties pay, the counties submit, and then the state reimburse us for that. The state budget is now saying, we are going to wean you off of that. The state is still taking the funding, but that is to go into Medicaid and increasing Medicaid benefits. So the Medicaid benefits are growing, which means it's more impact on us because we have to cover these Medicaid. So why do I tell you this? Well, I tell you this is because we now have to, the state is a fiscal year, we are a calendar year. So when the budget being approved, we have to this year come up with 700,000. The following year, we have to come up with the 1.3 million. And then each year after that, we have to keep getting more and more and more for that. So it's not a good scenario. 1.3 million is roughly about a 4% tax increase for us to come up with that money. There's things that we can do to try to offset this. We are with the Congressman, Mark Molinaro, to try to find out can the federal government tell the state of New York what to do with that money. As part of this budget, the salt in the wound, per se, is that the state of New York has not balanced their books in quite a long time. So we, as Cortland County, are owed almost $3 million from 2019 to present. And as part of her budget, stated that they are wiping that slate clean and they don't have to pay it. So, bad scenarios. So why do I tell this really to you? I tell it to you because the county is now looking, because we have services that we have to provide. We really only have two streams of revenue. One is taxes, property taxes. And the second one is sales tax, is the other one. We have negotiations, when we do a sales tax agreement, we agree, because of state law, it's between the city of Cortland and the county. But every municipality shares into that sales tax. You could never get rid of sales tax from municipalities because they rely on it so much. So we will be calling on the supervisors to meetings coming up to really go over and start brainstorming on what we can do for that. And one of the things that can come up is, as I tell you, 3.4% more is the county keeping anything over what you budget for. Keep your budget the way it is with the revenue that you're anticipating, but anything over that would go to the county to help get rid of the 1.3, and it's going to be up more. $1 million gap that we have, because that's not talking about salary increases, budget, materials as increases. So it could be grim, but I'm giving you the grim news now. I don't anticipate. I think we can do some stuff. We did get rid of some bonds for the county, so we did do that. We are looking at, and I do believe you're in our workers' comp. So the good thing is that the county is looking at putting $2 million into workers' comp to get rid of all the tail claims that we have as a county. Once we do that, we just the county alone is looking at roughly about $400,000 per year of savings, and then municipalities would see a premium drop. So there are things that our county administrator, budget and finance, audit office is looking at right now, trying to see where we can pull money and start saving, either pay bonds early, even though we have a penalty that we do, but to try to get, where we're in a good place where we don't have to raise taxes and with the sales tax. Hopefully sales tax is going to keep going up there. So buy Cortland, right? Fill up in Cortland. I know it's high, but fill up in Cortland because that's just helping everybody else at the end. Does anybody have anything on that? You're quiet.
I know it for change.
We are having, I have had emails, phone calls on the speeding on Stager Road and here at the intersection. So we are going to boost up law enforcement for here just to start seeing where the problems are. And correct me if I'm wrong, Stager Road's your road. It's county road. Okay. I don't see how the heck that happens, but our county roads usually have lines, but we will be changing the signs on there. For some reason, people are for yellow, are kind of in white, blah, blah, blah. We're going lime green to try to boost that people understand, what the speed limit is down there. But so don't be surprised if you see law enforcement out here for it.
In fact, I have heard some comments that people were a bit concerned seeing law enforcement around the hotel and on Preble Road and Steger Road, and they were kind of wondering what was going on. And they said it was, the speeding issue.
Yeah, I mean, I've got on my email plenty of videos people are taking and then sending them to me of speeding and that. So
Sometimes it's deceiving, the speed. People think they're speeding because I done it myself. That car's going too fast. Bob sits there, no, it's not. That's going 32 miles an hour.
We'll find out.
But you know, a lot of times you put those speed things up, it's more local people. Because they did that in Song Lake and there was 4 arrests, 3 of them were Song Lake people. I mean, I'm not against it, go ahead, put them up.
Well, you know, I think one of the things we try to do is try to address when people have.
Because when I come up in the village, that one spot there, I don't go over 20 miles an hour. And it's below Jim. He knows what I'm talking about.
You go up and down my street about 3 times a day.
No, I don't, twice.
Between you and your sister.
No, she goes 3-4 times.
Yeah,
I only go once to get my mail, unless I go on a gopher.
yeah. Any other questions for Kevin?
Okay.
It sounds grim, Kevin, but we need
And,
to.
don't look at it as grim, just,
But we
I'm
need
trying
to
to
know.
be truthful
Yeah.
in seeing, you know, what we can do
Mhm.
for it. Like for instance, Anna Kellis is our assembly, and we'll be talking with her because one of the ways that we can try to help things is with shared services. And one of them is looking at the big plan, and it's not, I know it's online, but it's just a plan, a thought, is there's 34 laws that New York State has that says that we cannot share a jail with any other county, right? So people are like, well, you can't do that because of these laws. Well, our assembly can change these laws. If we can do that and we can actually share services with the jails, what that does is that frees up the current jails that we have. And one thing that we can do at that point is actually have drug and alcohol rehabilitation to be able to use those facilities for those. And that's one of the things we look at as well, because we're looking at economic development and, you know, bringing in businesses. And once we can do that and show that we do have a system in place, we think that they will come. You will be hearing here in the next 2 weeks, there will be an announcement of a company coming into Cortland. And roughly around 300 jobs that they will be providing. But I have secrecy, so, but I just wanted to throw a little kid. So, okay.
Well, that's good to end up on a good note.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
It no longer sounds grim. Thanks, Kevin. Okay, Jen?
Zoning and code enforcement April report. 1 building permit issued, 67 miles traveled, 9 building inspections, 49 hours worked, 3 fire inspections, 5 complaint follow-ups, and 19 telephone inquiries. The next planning board meeting is May 24th at 7 p.m. The next ZBA meeting is June 1st at 7:30 p.m.
There's no historian report tonight.
Town clerk fees collected in April, $128. Dispersed $119 to the town of Preble and $9 to New York State Ag and Markets.
Thanks, Jen. Unfinished business, street lighting, Jim?
We've got a formal request from National Grid that they're requesting a form that we can fill out to apply apply for the LED conversion. Amanda's been working with Bradley Smith at National Grid, and then she's answered my emails. Brad hasn't answered me, but she's answering them for him to answer some of our questions. I believe I copied you on some of them. And so we're getting closer. They are not smart lights, and I sent them the tariff, what they were requesting, the tariff lights, 25 watt versus 48 watts. for the streets and the main roads. So I had sent him that, he asked for that. So what we need to do at this point is from him, I want him to answer the questions that Amanda answered for us. So it comes from National Grid, and then we'll fill out the formal request.
Okay.
And then we can go forward.
Good, so the ball's rolling.
Yeah.
on this. Yeah. Okay, any questions for Jim on this? Okay. Next item is the Morgan property. Jeff, you've talked to some neighbors on that Morgan property, and well, what exactly is the proposal of what can be done?
All right, now after, the last meeting with Don, he's suggested that we get together, and I chatted with, actually as town cleanup was going on, a few of the neighbors, and, what I'm proposing at this point, and Don, maybe a little nudge in one direction, but is to, and I'm gonna be gone as of tomorrow through Sunday, but sometime after that, Kevin, I got your email.
Okay.
Maybe we could sit down and just, get a group together and just have a discussion and face to face and, a pre-COVID type of a discussion, just to throw everything on the table and see where we're at. And, get like Jim and Dave, you're familiar with Dave Morris. So we're not in an official meeting per se, but, just have a open dialogue and see, where the people want to go with it, if anywheres. So I'll try to set up something next. Okay, appreciate it. So if we can do something like that and, get some feedback, direct feedback, and go from there. That's why I'm, Don, any thoughts or?
No, I was just wondering, has it gone back on the tax? Okay.
No.
Do you know when the next tax sale is for properties? Is this one scheduled?
I don't believe that it has been officially yet.
Okay.
I know it's been talked about.
Okay.
But that property is, we just took it. The county did, so that we can do what we need to with it.
Maybe that's something we should address as a board. I think us doing something as a town, doing something with that property, that's off the table now.
Yeah, that we've kind of come to that conclusion.
And that we need to communicate to Kevin that you can put it back on on the auction block when you do that, when you go ahead and auction the properties, because the town is no longer going to pursue that property.
We felt that there was a problem with public funds being used for kind of a private purpose. That it has an impact on a limited number of people. So.
I will not say, that's up to the municipality.
Right.
We did talk with our county attorney, and the way that we looked at it is that it is a benefit to the highway department. Because if there was flooding, what would they have to do?
Mm-hmm.
And if this was a mitigation to benefit the highway department from having to do anything after a flood occurs, that's what we felt. But it's totally up to you. It's the property is there. You can't build on it. We know that.
So we'll get that meeting together and at least,
Yeah,
and it's gonna be it's not gonna be a month or two before that would go back up anyways, right? It'd be
Oh yeah, well, we're in no
Okay.
rush at that
Just to-
point.
Okay.
And we'll make sure if you want, we can make sure our planning director is there if you want.
Okay.
At least, she's the engineer, and so that's up to you guys. Whoever you want at the table to talk about it.
Okay.
I would ask that for the municipality, if you do not, if it goes to the point where you don't want the property, just write us a letter
Okay.
saying, because I just want to make sure it's in writing before we do something. You say, oh, wait a minute.
Right.
All right.
Understood.
We'll be in touch, so,
Okay.
okay, thank you.
Next item, Memorial Day Parade. We have our annual Memorial Day Parade and ceremony coming up in a few weeks. And so 3 board members here and myself will be involved with it. We need some cars. If anybody could donate a car or 2 for the parade, that would be nice. Dave is handling the ice cream, right? And so if there's anything that you guys want to do, just let me know after the meeting. But otherwise, everything is going pretty well. We do have a guest speaker, and things are changing. People, the old people that were doing things are no longer doing those things, and so I have to find new people to do them. So I do have people to fill some of those roles, and we'll have Tully school system, that Tully marching band. That will be there too. So it's going well, and we have the newsletter coming out too. That should be out in about probably 2 weeks. So before Memorial Day, that'll be out. And we have a lot of articles in the newsletter. Okay, new business, firefighters tax exemption. Jeff, can you give us a little summary on that?
Yeah, and it's kind of stalled a little bit, and Kevin, let me put you on the spot for a second. Is the county gonna move forward with that?
We did.
It is, it's, okay. So basically, at this point, and I sent down a bunch of attachments, probably most of you ever got. But what it is, and to be honest with you, we've only got a handful of firemen right now as it is that could take advantage of it. Some don't even own property, so it wouldn't, we're not talking dozens, we're talking probably single digits that would even qualify. FASNY has pushed for this it's been a back and forth to get it through, Albany and make it available to firefighters. And what it is, just to refresh, is up to 10% in property value reduction for, and there's criteria you have to meet for volunteer firemen for that. That is also, and it's for each municipality. So the county's moved on it. The town of Preble, they have to move on it. The Preble Fire Commissioners for the fire tax. The school district would have, and all needs to be approached and get this, to make it really effective, if you will. So, and I guess I was talking to Jim earlier, and you had too, Don, is, just the feeling of the board to decide to move forward with it in some kind of resolution or something, so we can, get things, because it is a local law, so, okay. Any questions?
So if you want work done on that, if you think that's what you want to do, then just tell me and we'll
Okay.
get to work on it.
Okay.
There you go. Have at it.
Okay.
Nice
We'll
work.
get you a draft for next month's
Okay.
meeting.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Thanks, Don. Next item, our town clerk and also our town justice said that they are going to be done by December 31st of 2023. And I don't think, even though they sent in resignation letters, their term is up. So we don't really have to accept a resignation because it's a natural progression of their term being up. They're just not going to run for that office anymore. So,
I agree.
so there's nothing that the board has to do on that, but I'm just letting everybody know that we're looking for a town justice, we're looking for a town clerk. If anybody out there knows of somebody who would be good at those positions, let me know, and I can channel them in the right direction to get on the election ballot in November. Monies received, we received from USPS, $779. From Cortland County Traffic Diversions Program, $1,825. From Cortland County Road Fund, Snow and Ice, we received $9,910.54. And from Portland County Mortgage Tax, we received $5,770.26. Now we'd like to open up the meeting for public comment. Anybody who has a comment or a question that they would like to ask the board, feel free at this time. Okay. Nothing. We need to make a motion to pay the general fund vouchers.
Make a motion to pay general fund vouchers, abstracts number 5, numbers 73 to 95, totaling $8,376.12.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Carried. And then we need to make a motion for the highway fund vouchers.
I'll make a motion to pay the highway fund vouchers, abstract number 5, numbers 40 to 54, totaling $176,858.25. I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. We need a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn. I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. We adjourn.
Well, that was quick. Don't want to show you something.
So when our driveway gets flooded out, can we call them? When the water comes down and floods out our driveway, can we call and get a diversion from Bill? Yeah,
It's gonna be well next. There.
They are, but they, I think we're in the final stage. So that's the one.
And the graphics below it?
Have they reached?
Graphics below it?
Yeah. But all the-